If you don't know by now inside outcome memories, when you're the last person remaining during a match, you enter a game mode called LMS. During this game mode, you have more HP, your cooldowns are quicker, and you might have a change in your abilities. In this video, we'll be going through the 7 characters currently inside of the game and ranking their LMS from worst to best, and giving you tips on how to better play them during their LMS. Without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's begin with number 7. Now, number 7, I put Cream the Rabbit. Normally during a match, Cream has 2 abilities, Heal and Dash. Dash is around a 15-second cooldown, and Heal has around a 25-second cooldown. And while you're healing, you also go into an animation that lasts a couple of seconds, while healing yourself once for 5 or 10 HP. During Last Man Standing, she gains 65 HP to go to 165, 25% damage reduction, and a really high reduced cooldown. Instead of having 15 seconds per dash, it's around only 7 seconds. This means you can dash and dodge a lot more quicker and a lot more times during Last Man Standing. Also, instead of an animation playing when you choose Heal, which causes you to stand still, during Last Man Standing, it's an insta-heal. So as long as you click it, you gain 3 to 4 HP if you've already been downed, or 7 to 8 if you're still alive, with cheese. And her final ability is during Last Man Standing, when it starts, you gain 3 dodges. This means you can't be hit for free attacks, and you can't be grabbed for free attacks. Now, the reason why I put her in last place is if you're not playing on Not Perfect, it's very easy to get hit many times since you don't have any stuns. And while the healing is nice, there's not many situations where you're able to get far enough away from the killer in most situations where you could heal up a lot of the time. Although the healing is nice, a lot of the time, he's already on you for so long that additional 7 HP here and there might not really help that much, especially since you just survived for 3.5 minutes. But since many killers are a lot better at this game now since release, I gotta say, Cream has to be placed in 7th. One tip I recommend when using her is when you dash, you want to look like you're running towards the EXE, then dash to the left or right, since most of the time they can't prepare for that. Also, if you're on Not Perfect, it's just an easy win, because all you have to do is climb the towers, glide, and the EXE can't chase after you. Even if they use a grab, you can still just get out of the way. But with that, we're on to number 6. Now, you might not agree with me in this, but I think Metal Sonic deserves to be in 6th place. Since Metal Sonic already has a 50% damage reduction, during Last Man Standing, he actually gets a 75% damage reduction. This means he only takes around 10 damage per hit. But also, normally his destructive charge ability does around 40 damage to himself, but during Last Man Standing, it only does 10 if you hit a wall, or 15 if you grab him and don't hit a wall. His destructive charge also has a longer duration of stun. Now this is good, since you're able to stun the killer technically 17 times during the game, as long as you don't get stunned, and you do have a healing ability. Now the reason why I put him here is although you could probably survive 17 hits, if you miss your destructive charge, there's really no chance in healing, since even if you get away, they could just turn invisible and get you while you're healing, or they could just go with God's trickery and get you. And during Last Man Standing, he actually loses some HP. Because although the game is coded currently, the max HP a character can have is 165. This normally happens during Last Man Standing, but since Metal Sonic has 175 at peak, he actually goes down 10 HP. Now, normally during Last Man Standing, the killers a lot of time like to use God Trickery early and their grab, so if you use your destructive charge to actually glide away, since it's pretty fast instead of grabbing the EXE, you can gain a lot of ground and potentially heal up your HP. Also, if you're playing on a map like Not Perfect, you are able to jump into the void, which does deal some damage to you, but could get you far enough away from a killer where you're able to heal up your HP you took. He's generally one of the harder characters to play during Last Man Standing because of this, but he can work if you do it well. And remember, these rankings are just an opinion, each character is surprisingly balanced. But anyways, we're on to number 5. Coming in 5th place is Eggman. Normally, he would definitely be 1st place for me, but because of his recent nerf, he is really hard to play now. Before, his double jump was around 4 seconds every time, now it's around 10. Also, you can no longer use your shield and run ability at the same time. And if you miss your shield ability, you can't use your speed ability for 5 seconds afterwards. Also, his stun for his shield was reduced in half, and it basically feels like you're not even stunning the killer. But with that, he is still pretty good, since with his speed buff, it does have a low cooldown. It is very easy to get out of many situations with him, and there's a lot of maps where the EXE can't jump as high as Eggman, and Eggman can escape. There's also many loops you could do where the EXE has no hope in catching up to you, just because of how far and how high Eggman jumps. And if they ever try grabbing you, you can just use your shield ability and stun them away. For this, I recommend on a few maps like Not Perfect is to always stay low and then jump higher. For a map like Hill Gym, Basically, in the middle area with the spring on the left, you want to try jumping the gap since the EXE would have to take a long detour to get up to you. And on hill and you can't run, just run. His abilities make him a really good character, but you have to make sure you time your abilities properly, since you use your abilities too early and he has grab or God's Trickery, you're pretty screwed. But since he is a survivalist class technically, he has to be in 5th place. Now coming in 4th place might surprise some of you, but I think it's Tails. During a match normally, Tails' cannon takes around 45 seconds to recharge, including a 5-second startup and then around a 1.5 second once you click the button to actually start shooting. This makes him pretty much a ranged stunner. He also has a glide ability that takes around 25 seconds. But during Last Man Standing, his glide cooldown is significantly shorter, and instead of 45 seconds for his laser cannon, it's only 15 now. And instead of around 5-second charge up, it only takes 1.5 seconds now, and you can instantly shoot after that. This is really good, since normally you can stun him for around 10 seconds with your arm cannon. This means by the time they catch up to you, and say if you don't have a grab, you could just fly away, or you could just use your arm cannon again, since you're only around 7 seconds off of its cooldown. Also, on many maps like You Can't Run and Hill Gym, you can fly to higher areas where the EXE can't reach or get far away from it in time because of how high you can go. And because its cooldown is so short, you're able to stun the killer 2 times before they can use their grab ability once. I always recommend once you start the chase to get a little bit farther away from him, then use your arm cannon. The reason why I say this is because many times when you start running away, if you like to use a grab ability, but since you're able to charge up so quickly, you can actually stop them before they try grabbing you. This means it puts them on cooldown, gets you farther away from them, and also make sure that by the time they get their grab ability again, you also have your arm cannon back. And do be mindful when you're flying, on a map like Not Perfect or Hill, you can fly across the entire map in one go. So on Not Perfect, if you get to the 2 points at the top, you can fly across the entire map. And if they don't have anything to help them at that time, you can really get some ground. For those reasons, Tails really thrives during Last Man Standing, but the next 3 characters are a lot better. Now, coming in 3rd place is Knuckles the Echidna. From what I see, during Last Man Standing, he actually doesn't get any buffs. The only thing he does get is a 25% damage reduction, which sometimes feels like 50, and the fact that he has 165 HP. Now, if you're wondering why he doesn't have any buffs, well, it's because his kit already is really good with stunning. His punch can either stun the killer for 4 seconds if you just use it, 5 seconds if you charge it up a bit, or 6 seconds and apply burning to them if you're fully charged. And while you're fully charged, you could also just switch to your counter, which is an ability you can use, that instantly knocks the EXE away for 5 whole seconds. Now this is good, because during Last Man Standing, 5-second head start is insane. And because of how quick the cooldowns are, around being only 25 seconds, by the time the EXE catches back up to you, it's only around 10 seconds until you can use your ability again. And one of Knuckles' passive is known as Glide. This could work on maps like Not Perfect or Hill, so it could give you some ground and lead you into a drop roll, which gives you even more ground. Plus, because of this counter, you can't really get grabbed from him unless if he moves around then goes back for you, since if he hits you with grab while doing your counter, then it backs him away. So the tips I recommend is try baiting out his grab with your counter, and sometimes waiting behind corners for him to come around for your punch, so it's a lot easier to hit. The punch sometimes has a janky hitbox, but as long as you're able to time it or jump into the air so you can do a ground punch which stuns them for even longer, then go for it. But that is everything what to say for Knuckles the Echidna, and on to number 2. Now, might be shocking a few of you, but number 2, I put Sonic the Hedgehog. Now because of Sonic's overshield, technically during Last Man Standing, he has 215 HP. Now this might sound good, but there's one catch to this. The catch being, is during Last Man Standing, instead of getting a damage reduction, he actually takes more damage. So instead of having a 25% damage reduction, he actually takes 15% more damage. This means on average, every EXE hit does around 56 damage to you. But this does not increase the grab damage. But because of this, Sonic gets some really key differences. First one being is after using Spin Dash, before it would take around 5 seconds before you could use Peel Out, but during Last Man Standing, you can instantly use Peel Out without the 5-second reduction. This means you can gain 30 HP and dodge HP, which gives you 1 dodge and he does over 50 damage, and then immediately Peel Out for 7 seconds. This basically means if they don't have God Trickery at the time, there is no hope of them finding you, especially on maps like You Can't Run and Hill Gym, because of how long it is and how fast you go. And because of the speed of Peel Out, by the time you finish your Peel Out, you only have to wait around 10 seconds before you can use your Sims. And because of the time on Peel Out, by the time you finish it, it'll only be around 10 seconds before you use your drop dash again. This means you can just keep cycling it over and over again, keep getting HP, and then running away. Now, Sonic is the hardest character to do in Last Man Standing. Reason why I say this is because of a 15% damage increase, and instead of surviving around like 3.5 minutes like the rest of them, you have to survive for 4 minutes and 16 seconds. But if you know how to dodge very well, and use your abilities properly, he is a very simple character to win during Last Man Standing. As long as you're aware of your HP, since you are practically free shot most of the time, you could just keep running away and getting more and more dodge stuns. But finally, we're on to first place. I feel like this shocks absolutely nobody, but I have to say, it is Amy. There is no way you can change my mind. I can win a lot of LMSs during of other characters. I have never won a single one against Amy. You might be wondering, it can't be that bad. It is. Amy has 3 cards that is normally used during Last Man Standing. This being Shadow, Blaze, and Tails, or the Emperor, the Sun, and the Fool. The Blaze card normally heals everybody except for Metal Sonic and Sonic to 75 HP, doing 1 HP every 2 seconds. But for some reason during Last Man Standing, it's basically 1 HP every second, and 75 HP is not the cap anymore. It's 100. The Emperor card gives you around a 1 stud speed buff, and also gives you some damage resistance, while a Fool, or Tails, gives you just speed, but a smaller stun. This means if you stun the killer once, then run away, doesn't matter if he hits you once, by the time they catch back up to you, you almost are at full HP again. And because of Amy's cooldowns are so small, you can just keep cycling this over and over again, and if you use your hammer attack, you can actually get hit by grab for the first few seconds of it, so you can also use that to dodge the grab. Now, I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but if you have Tails and Shadow cards, you can actually outrun the killer. Even though you can't heal with these 2 cards because you need the Sun, since you're able to outrun them, it's very easy just to not get hit. Some things I always recommend is if you're about to use a grab ability while chasing behind you, try using your hammer throw, since a lot of the time, its hitbox is big enough to hit them and get them out of their grab ability. I also recommend don't use your hammer pounce ability, since it is good for gaining some mobility, but if you lose one of your stuns, which that one is pretty good, then you're kind of screwed. Since you are able to use that close range, if they're about to catch up to you, you can just use your hammer ability, turn around, smack them, and then continue running. I recommend never using the Moon or the Knuckles card. Even though the Knuckles card gives you a 5-second stun, you are so slow, it's literally hilarious. Also, the Moon might give you speed or damage resistance, but can also make you slower and take more damage, while also making you blind. For those reasons, Amy is a first place menace when it comes to Last Man Standing. And if you have any RNG with her to get one of those 3 cards, you're just done for. But those are all the characters ranked for Last Man Standing. Like I said earlier, each character is really good during Last Man Standing, but some of them are just so much more broken than others. If you have any opinions, make sure to comment them down below. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you all liked and enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.